Nerd News Network.
It is time for some news.
We've got such a weird batch of news this week.
You're just a bit all over.
Curiously weird batch of news. So, first and foremost, Percy Jackson Season 2 is due to start filming in August and expected to continue filming through till early 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is only so fast things can happen.
Yep.
It's kind of scary, though, when your entire cast of actors are, like, in the middle of puberty. Like, over the course of Season 1, you can see the height difference change between Percy and Annabeth as it is. What you don't want is him to all of a sudden grow a beard and his voice drop 2 octaves.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's nothing you can do to get around it.
Yeah. Well,
but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like for the Percy Jackson, like, obviously they need to be kind of on it with season after season. And like, this is obviously a very different show, but Stranger Things started off as them as young kids. They had to tie the story into time hopping because they spent so long between that the actors got older and they had to like keep it making sense. You can't really do that with the Percy Jackson show because it's a continuous book story.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Damon Lindelof, who was a writer on Lost and HBO's Watchmen, as well as Chris Mundy, who wrote Netflix's Ozark, which I've heard very good things about, although I haven't seen it, are apparently set to be writing DC's Lanterns series, according to WGA listings. The Lanterns series has been reported to be a similar kind of style show to that of True Detective.
Okay.
I like the Lanterns. It really sucks that Ryan Reynolds' god-awful Green Lantern movie did so much damage to the Lantern's ability to get funding for TV and film. Hopefully this recovers that identity a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it can't get any worse, so...
Yeah, but the Green Lantern fiasco is what made me so worried about the Flash film, because it feels like, as a result of that, anyone who's not Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, if they have a really bad film, it hurts their ability to get another film or TV show for a long time.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And that is the problem. Antony Starr, who famously plays Homelander in The Boys, has said in an interview that fans who are idolizing Homelander are, quote, missing the point. So, as we've been saying for literally years, yes, The Boys does poke fun at both the left and the right at times. The difference is the left know when they're being made fun of in media, and the right don't. Do you know how batshit crazy you have to be for the actor playing the bad guy to come out and go, you guys are misunderstanding the situation?
Do you know what worries me? Is this obviously he's got to have like got wind of people are like idolizing Homelander. And it worries me that maybe like at Comic-Cons and stuff, if he's been there doing signings, people are coming up like, oh my God, Homelander
so
just
based.
He knows that. So true. Everything he stands for, love him. I would love to be Homelander. And he's like, okay. And it's just happened too often. He's like, hang on, do people not realize that Homelander's bad?
You know what it is? It's the famous Martin Scorsese quote from the red carpet of Wolf of Wall Street. There was a really young person who was on the red carpet, like an interview or something. He's like, "Does your generation understand this is like it's a forewarning of like don't trust the rich? Like it's a warning message. It's not something to strive for." And at the same time, you still see even to this day, people are like, "Oh, I want to be the Wolf of Wall Street," and it's like, did you miss the part where he was a huge piece of shit?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's worrying, but I mean.
I'm going to say the same thing I've said about media and video games and music forever. these things do not create more bad people or let them bad people feel more like they can be bad people. It simply allows the bad people to out themselves.
Yeah. Do you know what? It doesn't surprise me that people have latched onto Homelander because Trump exists. And while not to the extreme of Homelander, he's like Homelander's like the next step up. So
yeah, Homelander and Trump are the same person if Trump all of a sudden got superpowers. You cannot
yeah,
convince me otherwise.
yeah, it's
We have the
worrying.
best superpowers in the world. Anyway, Giancarlo Esposito is set to make his MCU debut as his mysterious character in Captain America Brave New World. He's been described as an antagonist. So he will be a villain once again. Or at least he won't be aligned with Captain America.
I think, unfortunately, my hope last week that he might be Professor X is now completely scrapped out. There's no chance now.
So, alongside rumours that Norman Osborn's Green Goblin might not be done in the MCU, a lot of people are going, Norman Osborn? Pause. He's a very popular fan cast for Norman Osborn, so him saying it's not someone fans have speculated makes me doubt this slightly. But I don't know if it's a popular one in the sense of in the real tight circles it's a popular one, but not a widespread popular one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I have a couple of ideas I was thinking about now we know it's going to be in Captain America's Brave New World. One, still holding out hope on this Doctor Doom. We talked about back in Winter Soldier, Captain America and Winter Soldier, there was like these, we were like, you made the petition, what if this is all just like Doctor Doom pulling strings? We were getting like the power broker and there was all these different things going on. What if we are going to get Doctor Doom? What if it's in this? What if he plays that? Another that I had after watching X-Men 97, knowing we're going to be getting X-Men, the title being Brave New World, how would they maybe tie in mutants? It's obviously government related. We know that. It's focused around what the government's up to. What if it's Bolivar Trask? And what if it's like hinting at this idea that they know about mutants and they're starting to feel they need to have a department going on?
I will tell you something right now. I don't think they'll do it.
Probably not.
He has definitely been given a big role. You don't get an actor like that and give them a tiny role. If he is just like some unnamed scientist, the internet is not going to stop coming up with theories. And that, I think, is the best thing they can do. The problem is he's already been described as an antagonist, which must mean he has at least a notable role. You can't have him just be an unnamed scientist.
You could. It could be like he isn't named, or maybe we don't get to know his name, but he is shown being like this scientist that is pushing this idea of something negative.
I think the Norman Osborn angle can work. Norman Osborn angle can work. Bearing in mind that he's also like a weapons manufacturer.
Yeah.
Him being there trying to sell the government on like just big old bombs, while Captain America's like, no, we can deal with this diplomatically, would be the perfect introduction to Norman Osborn. He gets permission to go and try and recreate the super soldier serum, which is how he accidentally creates the goblin formula, which turns him batshit crazy. I'm not saying I think that's what's going to happen. I'm definitely saying I can see how it would happen.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some element of like he's going to be playing a character that is the government is looking at, and he's trying to be like, look, I've got this we should be focused on trying to prevent this thing, while Captain America's like, no, that's not how you should handle that. And the government just ignores Captain America and does it anyway because it's the government.
Yeah.
So I think we're both like, there's a few different avenues this could go.
I'm also so down for him to just be like a character that they have created for the MCU who's never existed in the comics, and they're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah. Fair.
I don't know if this is really relevant, but I didn't want to not include it. Apparently, we're getting the first teaser for the Among Us TV series, and it's expected to be released during Summer Games Fest. Obviously, when Josh is back in a few weeks, Summer Games Festival have happened, so he'll give us a big rundown of everything then, and maybe this will be on that list.
Possibly.
Because they've got like a really wild cast of voice actors for that.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like they've stacked the cast.
COVID did a lot of people dirty. A lot of people made a lot of money in COVID. No one has done as well from COVID other than pharmaceutical companies, as well as the Among Us devs.
And government officials.
Yeah. The Among Us devs might be the only normal people that profited major style from COVID. And the only people who profited from COVID that I don't hate. So there's that. Rumours are circulating via Screen Rant that The Boys Season 5 writers' room had already begun as recently as a month ago.
That doesn't surprise me.
So they're not trying to waste any time.
Good.
Which is interesting.
Let's be honest. There's plenty of inspirational material going on in the world at the moment.
Can we just talk about the fact that you've just gone good at the notion of them not wasting any time when you waste 3 years not watching the show?
Don't know what you mean. I was all tactical so that I had the minimum amount of wait time for season 4.
Got ya. And then Sony. Venom: The Last Dance is rumored to feature a 10-year-old Peter Parker. Oh, that is my opinion on that. You can quote me on that.
I don't know why they're doing that, because they almost
been confirmed to be the last Venom film.
Well, and the thing is like I don't know, the fact that he got to be in the MCU briefly, and it's like Sony might have actually got a way to bring it in, and then they're going to go and do this, and it's going to like Kevin's just like, yeah, okay, you're done. That's not.
Just to be completely fucking clear here, what Sony have done with Venom, and like, I don't dislike the 2 Venom films; they're okay. They've taken a character who exists because of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They've put him in a universe without Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They've had him fight the symbiotes that he's like related to.
Mm.
They then had him create Carnage, who he then killed.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in the 3rd and final film, they're going to introduce a 10-year-old, so like between 4 and 6 years away from becoming Spider-Man, Peter Parker. And it's already been confirmed to be the last Venom film, meaning that Venom and Peter Parker will never ever interact or fight, meaning him and Carnage can never interact and fight. What are we doing?
They've done it backwards, is what they're doing.
What they've essentially made is just a weird, goopy alien film. And they've just used the Venom branding just because famous. May as well have just made it a brand new IP.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great end.
Should have just called it Black Sludge 1, 2, and 3. Because that's about the relevance it has to the character of Venom. Like, what are we doing? I don't think I'm that negative person when it comes to comic book movies. I think overall I try and stick on the positive side. But what are we doing? Venom: The Last Dance is a shit name. Anyway, I've tried not to dwell on that too much. It's a shit name. Tom Hardy deserves better. He's done really well in these films. But what's the point? If I was Tom Hardy and I've played Venom for, by this point, like 6 or 7 years after all these films are out, and I've not got to fight Spider-Man, I'm suing Sony.
I only hope that Kevin goes, you know what? Tom Hardy did a really good job as Venom. When we finally bring Venom in, we'll give him a call.
Seen who the fan casts are for the MCU Venom?
No.
Alan Richardson, who plays Reacher, to come in as Eddie Brock.
Oh.
Which I don't hate as a casting. I think there's definitely better options, but I don't hate that.
Yeah, no.
I do just love that, because, sorry to get sidetracked, Alan Richardson to me is always going to be Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State, which is a sitcom about American football players in college. It's a very different character. So seeing him go global superstar off the back of Reacher and now getting fan casted in major roles is really funny to me because the character I will always know him most for is a linebacker who gets drunk and high and is dumb as bricks. And it's just really funny to me. But yeah, weird week of news.
Well, there's one other thing that isn't on there which I thought I'll mention. We've started getting some pictures from Lord of Rings of Power season 2.
Yes.
One of a very specific character that a lot of people are excited to have, which is Tom Bombadil.
Yes.
In the big, like, red beard, blue coat.
Kind of early for him. I'm not great on my Lord of the Rings
So,
lore. Is this not kind of early, or am I tripping?
Tom Bombadil was, I mean, for those that don't know, the most powerful being in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, isn't the whole thing essentially like he's, pardon the Marvel nerd here, he's kind of Loki-ish, and as a result, the ring doesn't really affect him.
Well,
because he's just kind of a tricky, slippery dude.
Yeah, this is the thing. He's tricky, but also like peaceful. He doesn't get involved in anything. Nothing works on him. He's more powerful than any of the evil. Like, yeah, the ring just doesn't work, but he doesn't get involved. A lot of people say he is just Tolkien self-inserted in the book. But yeah, to get him in season 2 is going to be pretty cool. Think this, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed by the end of the season 1. The wizard guy is clearly Gandalf.
Yeah, it'd be genuinely more surprising if he's not Gandalf at this point.
There's another picture where he stood next to Tom Bombadil in more of a slightly different get-up, and he looks like Gandalf straight up.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see Tom Bombadil involved. But yeah, getting very excited now for Rings of Power after seeing some pictures start to emerge.
Fair enough.